We're often told that the BBC is biased towards Palestine. The truth is the opposite, and we have the evidence to prove it. We analysed more than 35,000 pieces of BBC output over 12 months. It's the largest study of its kind in the United Kingdom. And what we found was stark. Israeli deaths received 33 times more coverage, even though 34 times as many Palestinians were killed. Israeli voices appeared twice as often as Palestinian ones. Around 70% of all emotive and sympathetic language was used to describe Israelis. Palestinians are reduced to numbers. Discussions of genocide were cut short or shut down around 100 times. And finally, key context was repeatedly missing: occupation, international law. That's why we titled our report "One Story, Double Standards." The audience hears one dominant narrative and one marginalised one. But the BBC is not an exception. Newsrooms across the West, from Reuters to New York Times, have bent their own rules of impartiality in ways that often soften or sanitize Israel's actions. Palestine captures global attention because it reveals how power shapes the stories we are allowed to hear. It exposes the moral contradictions of the modern media system. The BBC is part of that system and is no exception. If the BBC wants to honour its founding mission, it must accept how often it avoided holding Israel to account for a war that legal experts across the world now call genocidal. The British public deserves journalism that faces the truth directly, not journalism that flinches, not journalism that avoids scrutiny, journalism that reports without fear or favour. That's the standard the BBC sets for itself, and that's the standard it should return to.